Hello, I'm Larry, and today we're going to be looking at Wave 2 through 1 of the 4-inch World of Nintendo figure line, produced by Jakks Pacific. This wave includes White Tanuki Mario, Red Yoshi, Wind Waker Link, Falco, and a Red Koopa Troopa. Up first is the White Tanuki Mario. The sculpt of the figure is unchanged from the original Tanuki Mario release. It seems like Jakks is under some sort of order to include Mario with almost every wave they release. Why is there so many Marios? Like the original release, the articulation is overall really good. He has a wide range of movement in his neck, and he's really easy to get standing up, though the legs are kinda limited. He has mostly the standard articulation in his arms, though for some reason his wrists are not on a swivel. The figure comes with an invincibility leaf. For those who don't know what that is, the power-up appears when you die 5 times, and basically gives you an invincible Tanuki suit. The idea is it's supposed to help you if you're having trouble in the level. This figure I'd say is one of the worst repaints, as I don't see anybody really caring that much about this power-up. I personally don't care for it that much. Not that I have a problem with them implementing some sort of easy mode. I just hate that every time it appears, it's basically like putting a sign there saying you suck.
Oh, you're having a little bit of trouble. Is this little game a little too hard for you?
Screw off, I can do this, I don't need this.
Oh, come on, take this, it's just a little bit of a helping hand. Come on, give it a little boost. Come on, you're just embarrassing yourself.
Don't you talk to me. I can do this, I have skills. I can achieve. Unless if you're a completionist, I'd pass on this one. It's nothing too interesting. Next. Now on to Yoshi. Yoshi now comes in strawberry, cherry, and lime.
Taste the rainbow.
The Red Yoshi is the third repaint from Jakks, and the sculpt is unchanged from the previous versions. The articulation on the arms is limited, with no elbow or wrist joints, but his legs have some good range. The figure is very easy to get freestanding, and you can get some good poses out of him. Just like the other ones, Yoshi comes with an egg. This figure is also the same size as the figure art's Yoshi. Overall, this figure is basically the same as the others, though in one small improvement, the inside of his mouth is painted. Now into the more interesting stuff. Here is the Red Koopa Troopa. The sculpt is very spot on, and the paint job is good too, with only his eyes missing his iris color. He also has very good articulation. His neck has a ball joint, giving some good range. His arms have the standard joints, though are kinda hindered by the rim of the shell. His biggest flaws are the knees being swivel joints instead of being bendable. The figure is pretty easy to get standing up, though the lack of bendable knees kinda limits some of the posing you can do with him, such as walking poses. The accessory included with the figure is a set of wings. Much like the Shy Guy figure, you can attach the wings to the back of him to make him a Koopa Troopa, or remove them to make him a normal Koopa Troopa. Once attached, the wings have some articulation. His height compared to Mario is pretty good, though his official height kind of varies from game to game. The figure fits in really well with the SH Figure Arts Mario line, being slightly taller than their release. I'm glad they finally released a Koopa figure. For such a staple Mario enemy, he does not seem to get many figures, and most of the Koopa figures you do get are green. Though with their history of releasing repaints, I think it's a safe bet that a green one will eventually come out. Up next is Falco, based on his appearance from Star Fox 64 3D. His sculpt is very spot on, and his colors are very nice and bright. His articulation is the same you get with the Fox McCloud figure, including his legs, which are literally the same as Fox's. And like Fox, there's no joint at his wrists. And even though he has a lot of points of articulation, the range you can bend him is pretty limited, kinda cutting down on the poses you can get out of him. He comes with the same tiny R-wing that Fox does, though with this one, Falco can actually hold it. The figure is in a great scale to other Nintendo figures, and he's a great addition to any Smash Bros. Display. Overall, it's a great figure, and it's nice to see Jakks release some characters that have never gotten the plastic treatment in the past. And finally, here's Link, based on his Toon appearance from The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. This is the third Link figure Jakks has released. Link comes with a sword, shield, and scabbard that has a hole in the bottom for air to go through, so you won't choke if you happen to swallow it. You're screwed if you swallow the shield. Like the past Links, the scabbard attaches to his back and the sword can be placed inside. The figure has the standard articulation, and you can get a lot of good poses out of him. His hat has no articulation though. It would have been nice for it to be on a swivel joint or something. The only real problem with the sculpt is Link's hair, as the left part of his hair kinda spikes up in a weird way. The same problem is on the 2.5-inch figure. Though the biggest flaw of the figure is the material it's made out of. Unlike a lot of the other figures that are made out of more of a hard plastic material, this Link is made mostly out of a rubbery material that is quite fragile. The shield handle seems like it would be easy to twist off, and the arm joint twisted out of mine not too long after I opened the box. This makes it the second Link figure I've broken while trying to review on this show. I'm good at this review stuff, trust me. After a bit of blue tack. While Link is not impossible to get standing without any support, he's a very top-heavy figure, mostly due to the character's design, having a big head and tiny feet. And as you will see through most of these pictures, I used an extra Figma stand to get him standing. This Link is a perfect companion for the 6-inch Ganondorf figure Jackstars released in Wave 2. Also, scale-wise, he fits in really well with other Nintendo figures, so you can add Toon Link to your Smash Bros. Figure roster. Now compared to the Wind Waker Nendroid, I personally think this figure looks better, mostly due to it being more accurate to the Wind Waker design. If you happen to have both, the accessories from the Nendroid work well with this figure. I'd say this is probably my favorite Link figure from Jax, but it would be really nice to maybe get another character other than Link. I mean, there's other important characters, one whose name is in the game's franchise name. Making any of those anytime soon? Ah, Goron. No love for Goron? I'd say overall it's a pretty solid release. If you're able to find them, I'd pick up all of them except for maybe the white Tanuki Mario.